Hello, greetings. Sorry, I have to make another video on this prostitution being allowed in Islam. Some other points a little bit more. In other words, I have to complete and go on. Or go on and then see when I complete. You see, because here now again I'm reminded to check Google search. Prostitution, but prostitution is banned in Islam. Now I can go and look into details because of this ayat, Surah Nur, ayat 33, it says here. Wikipedia, thank you. You can please check if you are interested in what I'm saying, with mistakes and all, corrections. But I'm saying this verse says prostitution is allowed in Islam of slave girls, your slave girls. So not knowing Arabic too much, relying on word-to-word translations I'm getting from Google search websites, Quran.com and all this, and can't rely on the Shia expert, the what do you call that, the commentary, the explanation that has come from our Imams that Akapuya and Ali commentary have put in multilingual Quran under this verse, Surah Nur, Ayat 33. Can't rely on anything, just myself and this Quran ayats that I'm getting. English translations, word by word. Sometimes even word by word there's a mistake site. Now we are told there are different Qurans, variations, or whatever you call them, halves, and others. But please don't blame it on the Shias now. Sunnis, I know, blame it that we have a fake Quran and all this. I've heard it from the Sunnis themselves. So now how to proceed. Here it says, so this is the Wikipedia Islamic Sexual Jurisprudence. Check, prostitution is banned in Islam. It doesn't say Sunni, Shia, this, that, some pockets. I don't know what it is going to say. Going in sexual relationships are described in Quran, Hadith, sex, education, children. So this is it. They've taken unanimously legal sexualities, sexual relationships, marriage, concubinage. Before the abolition of slavery, Islamic law allowed a man to have sexual intercourse with his female slaves. Concubinage, which was a sexual relationship between a Muslim man, an unmarried female slave whom he owned, was the only legal sexual relationship outside marriage in Islamic law. This is not from the Sunni sources. They're telling us, right? All this. Concubine, Surah refers to the female slave area. Did I jump the gun and say on? Hello, Shias. Shias will say no. I have to look at both sides now. Look at the Imams, what they have given us. No, I can't trust the family of Prophet Muhammad anymore. I have to. So it was according to Sunni sources, concubinage was allowed. See if there is anything, because this point is very important for Surah Nur, Ayat 33. This one, concubinage point here, put here. Practice. Concubinage practice. Very, very important. If you're going to say that ayat is forced prostitution, ayat is cancelled that part. No one has said that. Right? Let's suppose forced prostitution is not allowed, but prostitution is allowed. Who can cancel the whole part of that ayat? So what? Concubine, Surah, refers to the female slave Jariya, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, with whom her master engages in sexual intercourse. The word Surah is not mentioned in the Quran. However, the expression ma malakat aymanukum, that which your right hands own. Sorry, I pronounced the K like a Q. It's a K here. Ma malakat aymanukum, nukum, which occurs 15 times in the sacred book, meaning the Quran. That which your right hands own. So the Sunnis took this as concubinage, or all unanimously. 40 Al-Adab al-Mufrad, book 9, hadith 48. This is Sunni, I think. Sunni, not our Shia. I have to check on the Shia side. No, Shia side was like, a man is away from a woman now in modern times. Back then, what was it? Ma malakat aymanakum, what was it? The Sunnis say it is concubinage. Muslims unanimously agree, right? Surah Al-Mu'minun 23 verse 6 and Surah Al-Ma'arij Surah 70 verse 30, both in identical wording draw a distinction between spouses and those whom one's right hands possess, female slaves, saying literally their spouses or what their right hands possess, while clarifying that sexual intercourse with either is permissible. The purchase of female slaves for sex was lawful from the perspective of Islamic law, and this was the most common motive for the purchase of slaves throughout Islamic history. And this was the most common motive. The purchase of female slaves. Buying of female slaves for sex was lawful from the perspective of Islamic law, whether in the Quran or Sunni sources or the life of Prophet Muhammad or the history, Islamic history. All Islamic law. And this was the most common motive. But it has to be in the Quran somewhere, the ayat. It has to be. Because you can't rely on only the hadith or Islamic. Surah Mu'minun, I have to check this, and Al-Ma'arij. Wikipedia, thank you. Sorry, tap and focus. So, here, concubinage, purchase of female slaves for sex was lawful. Okay? So history has recorded somewhere, even in the Sunni sources, life of Prophet Muhammad, and then I'm going to check Al-Mu'minun verse 6 and Surah Al-Ma'arij verse 30. Master, she would automatically acquire free status. Mother of the child, al-Walad. So much. The master had the right to practice coitus interruptus. Okay. Master, your slave girls, do not sexual techniques. Forget this. I think I've come to a major point here for my case. on Surah Nur, Ayat 33 about prostitution, forced prostitution. Is it allowed? Is it permissible? The Quran ayat, the way it is put, in other words, it's only about, the command is, do not force your maid or slave girls into prostitution when they desire chastity. Very well put. All that I've explained in my previous video, I hope you get it. Perfectly put. That's why. When they desire chastity. That added too. Because it's about forced prostitution, not about prostitution under will and consent of the slave girls and your, meaning mu'mineen, believers, what you own, the slave girls you own, the maids you own, right? So that, and thus no punishment. I was shocked at that. You could reason. Another point I wanted to put out is what I saw, a reminder in the multilingual Quran, what Akapuyar Ali commentary in that section has said, Ex-Shia religious scholars, that it is a major sin to alter the words of Allah and to misinterpret the words of Allah. So, in conclusion, can we say so whatever Quran variations there are and all this, I'm not concerned with that, because in the multilingual Quran, the same, a majority, I guess, of the Muslims, this is the Quran for us. This is, otherwise they could have explained that these are the various Qurans or Shias. We don't have a different Quran from the Sunni Quran. There's only one Quran, we are told. One Quran. And if I don't know, Imam Mahdi, I'm not going there. Right now, this Quran is for all Muslims. This is what we were told by Shia religious scholars and Muslim, Sunni, non-Shia religious scholars unanimously. This is what I'm going to stick to. This translation, given this Quran ayat, the way it is written, in this form, given here. Surah Nur, ayat 33, right? Where did I read? Major sin, if, in what, like which, under which, I have to go to Surah Baqarah maybe? Or, what is it? If you hide, if you misinterpret, then I should, sorry. Surah Nur. What does our religious scholar say here? That it is a despicable trade, condemnable. Word by word. I have a little eye problem. My left eye, so the head also, one part is hurting. But I will carry on until it gets worse. So 33, going there. I'm in my multilingual Quran Shia website. We will get commentaries again from the Shia. This is meaning, our Imams have explained this verse. And if you lie, distort, that's why these Shias and Sunnis are not coming to one unity under one umbrella. Because we say Prophet Muhammad is infallible, then there are these ayats. No, stick to this one. And he's made mistake. We are told in Surah Azab. Excuse is made by the Shias. That mistake was unintentional, the way it is put by Allah, it is true. But he made a mistake with unintentional even. It's such a grave mistake. Practicing that which makes no sense to Allah, adopted son, blood, making him, no, that doesn't make sense. No. The whole thing, no, sorry, I have to correct myself. Adoption can be done, but you just don't treat him like your blood son, biological son. Okay. Now, here, what do the Shias believe in? Any distortion of this Quran ayat or altering the words of Allah is a major sin, Gunai Kabira. Then hiding? No. Here, look at this. Although for me now it became very confusing, what does Ali commentary say here? Ali commentary say here. I'll read here. I wanted to read here, but according to Imam Jafar Sadiq, Imam Jafar bin Muhammad as-Sadiq, it is the duty of a true believer to forego the agreed amount if the slave desires freedom. This is about the previous part of the verse. Although the Imams among the Ahlul Bayt gave freedom to their slaves, but it is a historic fact, yes, according to the Shia history. That most of them refused to leave the service of the Imams. Even today, the free followers of these Imams feel proud. This is true. This is very, very true. Even today, the free followers, because they don't. I will wait till I tell you. Because you see, you are crying over Bibi Zainab, Bibi Sakina. You don't know. Wait till I tell you this here about prostitution being allowed. And I have told you this. And that this. So this is true, okay? Imam feels proud to say that they are the slaves. No, wait a minute. Sorry, I made a mistake here. My head is hurting. Even today, the free followers of these Imams feel proud to say that they are the slaves, followers of the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt. Imams of the Ahlul Bayt. What is now called the white slave traffic was, now this is about that verse, forced prostitution. What is now called the white slave traffic was carried on by wicked people like Abdullah ibn Ubay. Please, I would like now, really, why are you mentioning Abdullah ibn Ubay? I know that Imam Ali in Surah, in Najul Balagha, that poor brother was used to show us how strict Imam Ali was about Bayt al-Mal. Who was used? His poor brother Aqil was used. He's coming to Imam Ali saying, we're poor. Imam Ali took this iron hot iron. Discipline. Like his brother, I cannot give you from the Bait al-Mal. You know what Bait al-Mal is? It's for the people, for the citizens. Goodness, Bait al-Mal. For the running of the... No, Bait al-Mal is for the running of the city, country. My goodness. Aqil was used. Aqil ibn Abu Talib. Same thing here now. Who is used? Wicked people like Abdullah ibn Ubay, whoever he was, a pagan worshipper, idol, nijis, idol worshipper, impure, who hired 6 women slaves. Please, tell us, is prostitution... Please explain this verse directly. But no, they didn't. Failed. No. Here they have said, what? According to this verse, no more despicable trait can be imagined. Oh my goodness, if they were alive, I would have gone to them and say, Agha, Ali is perhaps Ali commentary. Who is Ali? Ali, he's also a Shia from Iran or from Iraq. I don't know. Okay? All this. We have 2 study centers, Najaf and Qom now, in Najaf in Iraq, and Shia study centers. Najaf is the city and Qom is the city. We have these big alims, religious scholars. According to this verse, no more despicable trade under compulsion, it should be. But he does not write this. Thus, he has misled himself also. He's misled. He's misleading us Shias. Our Shia, Quran expert. According to this verse, no more despicable trait can be imagined. Notice how, look at this, how indirectly he's saying women slaves for prostitution. Abdullah ibn Ubay used to do it. This by wicked people, like white slave traffic was carried out. Okay? Does he say directly that forced prostitution is not allowed, forbidden? It is the command of Allah here. But then this is about only forced prostitution. He doesn't say this. He doesn't say this. Indoctrination. Maybe they didn't mean to lie. Previous ones are talking about slavery is now obsolete. Where is it? A Muslim cannot satisfy his natural cravings outside marriage. Did we read about concubines in the Sunni sources somewhere? Wikipedia before. Okay, a Muslim cannot satisfy his natural cravings outside marriage. If he cannot afford to maintain a family, he must wait for Allah's grace and keep himself chaste until Allah gives him sufficient means. In religion, fasting has been recommended for such a person. Him. Notice, Dr. David Wood. Notice style. Notice it's a male now here. A Muslim male meaning, but they have not put male here because it's about him maintaining the family, the wife. A Muslim cannot satisfy his natural craving. It doesn't say his or her. A Muslim cannot, if he cannot afford to, okay, recommended, sufficient means. In religion, fasting has been recommended for such a person so that you can control your urges. Kitab refers to a written instrument. But then again, we are told in Surah Nisa that if you still have this fear and you can't keep patience, you can't keep patience. You have the fear of fornication as a Muslim, not married. Marry those women whom you can afford if you can't afford the rich ones. Who are they? In Surah Nisa, ayat forgotten. Ayat number forgotten. Who are they? And they have to be chaste and all this, whereas you're having this fear of this sexual urges, you are bad. What are you doing that is so bad? Fast. Fast. You will be good. Be a Muslim. Be a good Muslim. You are good. Why are you having these sexual urges? Notice, here we are told in religion, what? In the Quran, in religion, fasting has been recommended. Mustahab. Recommended for such a person. Is it mustahab? Recommended, yes. It is not imposed like you, it is advised, suggested that it is better if you, it's good to fast, you will. It's not imposed on you. It is a recommended thing, advice given. Oh, goodness Allah. I have to burn all my bridges, I think, and burn myself. So no Muslim has told me, not even this Google search, that prostitution according to this verse is allowed of these maids, with the will of these maids. Prostitution is allowed. Am I saying forced prostitution? No, I'm not saying forced. I'm saying prostitution, let's put it the way God has put it. Very, very well. So I'll just copy God, Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Exalted is be He. Be He. No, He is exalted. Exalted be He? No. You see, this is where somewhere even the Shias, I look at it and say, what are they saying? Exalted be He. Exalted is He. Forget exalted be He. I mean, before Allah, you know that SWT? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Baba, why should He be exalted? He is exalted. Anyhow, we pray like, we what? No, we realize we don't pray. We don't pray for Allah. We realize that exalted, we are praying. Be He would be like a exalted be He. No, better to say in English. Maybe the English they did a mistake. Okay, this is a minor mistake they may have done and not realizing in English. Putting it, exalted be He. No, exalted is He. He is the exalted. Maybe in Arabic it is written like this. Okay. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, yani, exalted is He. High and exalted. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, exalted is He. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. Exalted is Allah. Okay. Now, back here. And remember, if these, no. Going ahead. Acha. Okay, what is now called the white slave traffic was carried. What will happen to this man here? This, your religious scholar Shias. According to the Islamic ruling, Sharia law, what should happen? And to you all of you who say that prostitution is banned in Islam, So you're giving preference. Let's say if you tell me, some of you, I don't know where the thoughts are coming, that in the hadith and it's sahih, not even hasanat. Oh. We are told that this ayat here about this prostitution, then can you tell me that prostitution in the time of Prophet Muhammad was allowed? Yes. Concubines, purchasing slave girls. So meaning the Mominat and Mominin, have to be very, very careful, can purchase these slave girls. When we read in Wikipedia, do you remember earlier about concubinage versus Surah marriage and another surah, forgetting, what your right hands possess. You can purchase these girls. You can purchase these girls, slave girls, to have sex with them. It is recorded in the history. It is a historic fact from the side of. Can we see? It could be going very, very slow because I don't want to make any mistakes here. We could have, because this verse, we could have missed out. Umayyad side, Sunni source, we take Sunni sources. It's right. It could, yes, according to this verse. Muhammad's time, prostitution, concubinage was allowed at a certain time, and then it was cancelled. Here, so you can say, yes, yes, please, thank you, yes. Direct answer given. Now, this also covered, and if this was so, free slave girls, what is now called the white slave traffic, why would they not mention it here? The Shia ulamas, they are recording what imams have said, coming from imams. But why couldn't they say that concubinage and all this? Maybe what your right hands possess. Purchasing slave girls for pleasure seeking. It is still allowed for the Shias. For the Shias, what your right hands possess, they say it is muta. Muta. It is allowed. Under what circumstances, under what conditions are attached to it, you can read. The Shia, from the Shia website. This is also a Shia website, but this is the multilingual Quran. You will get a whole book explaining about muta, what conditions are attached, how you can practice, who can practice, what conditions are attached. I'm repeating myself because you see here I have this phansi ka phanda, or the sword hanging, above me. A sword is hanging above my head. Again and again. I don't want this to be a long video. I've already done a 1 hour and 29 minutes of video, uploaded it on YouTube. This is like 34 minutes and some seconds. So who's lying? Who's hiding and why? How can you hide this? Please first explain this part of the verse properly. Forget Abdullah ibn Ubay. And then you're saying that according to this verse, no more despicable trade can be imagined. No more. Because Abdullah ibn Ubay practiced this, women slaves for hired 6 women slaves for prostitution. And he was this wicked people like Abdullah carried on by wicked people like so you're saying wicked people like Abdullah ibn Ubay. Turn this around and come here. Shias, you have to come here. Turn this around. Your wicked Allah has allowed prostitution of these maids by your own people. Wicked. Mu'mineen, mu'minat, Muslimeen, Muslimat. Turn it around. See this. See the commentary, because you are unjustly saying Abdullah ibn Ubay is wicked. You're not saying Prophet Muhammad is wicked because he practiced it. You don't want to say the Imams are wicked because they practiced it. You're saying Islam did away with all this. These are the wicked people like there were other people like Abdullah ibn Ubay who practiced it. Practiced what? Hiring 6 women slaves for prostitution. If you say compelling them to prostitution, I would say, okay, this is right. Right interpretation, explanation of this verse, Surah Nur, Ayat 33. But if you're saying this is not forced prostitution, and the will of these women are involved, and sorry, you're wicked, Muhammad ibn, I don't know, Muttalib or Abdullah. I'm not sure, because what I read in Allama Majlisi, I think, also. Allama Majlisi's book, I don't know, Hayatul Qulub, whether he's Muhammad ibn Abdullah or Muhammad ibn Abu Muttalib. Abu Muttalib. Sorry, I get a little bit confused. You can overlook these small mistakes. Even our alim has said that don't go into details like how perfect the wuzu is or some little drop has fallen of the urine, it is najis. Too much is going into details and fearing this, and too much concern, over concern for cleanliness and purity is also satanic. Shaitan is harassing you. I have read somewhere or heard. Okay? Shia alim saying this. Big one. Now, I wanted to go on explaining like what shall we do with these expert Quran who have not corrected even. This is old. Multilingual Quran. What has been written by Ali commentary and Ali. Puya and Ali commentary. Sorry. I keep saying Ali commentary and there's a slash there. Puya and Ali commentary, all coming from our Imams. Ahl al-Bayt of Imams of Ahl al-Bayt. Good one I learned here. I hope I remember to say it this way. Who will be punished? No one. Not even the ones who compel. We are the maid. We? If you are a rich Muslim. I don't think it's you. No. Your maids to prostitution. If you become a maid of a Shia, but he will not prostitute you, right? Because he doesn't see this verse. I will show him. He doesn't see it like you are seeing it, like Allah has put it. He sees it in his indoctrination. How can it be when up there? Forget up there, keep chaste. Because why forget up there, keep chaste? Other ayats, no, please. See, indecency, this is where you have been deceived by your Prophet Muhammad and Allah. This is how the cult leaders write great books, give great, and they are perfect in their language and the command. They have such perfect command over the language. That's why you will put an innocent ex-Muslim former Shia, your own former Shia, to death. You will kill her. You will suck her blood. You will like butcher her, like aste you're doing. Huh? You are bleeding her inside, squeezing her. You are letting her bleed and bleed and bleed. And what will you do? You will go first, even before the 1st of Muharram. Your black clothes will be out. You will go for Alam Charai. Prepare for the things. Prepare for that great king of martyrs. See, this is the thing. So, if you want to do that, I don't think, according to your own religion, your own ayats and all this, he has trapped himself. I can give you and then put you. You should be doing this to you. You should be cut. Or I throw you out of my country if I had a country to own. If I was a queen of a country, looking after a country, not own. Or cut. Opposite sides. You are the one who have been hiding the truth about this Quran ayat part. Surah Nur ayat 33. This is, okay, you are the one hiding, whatever excuse, if it is, I have to see that you are, you say that, oh, I was so indoctrinated, that will not be an excuse, because you're saying I'm an expert in the Quran. I'm a Shia religious scholar. You have blamed these wicked men, people, like all of us are involved in this. I want to get myself out of this. I'm not involved now in these lies and misinterpretation, hiding, whatever. How are you? Misinterpretation, misleading. I don't want to mislead any one person even. Although I don't have a proof like Imam Hussein did in Karbala. Okay? Imam Hussein gave in Karbala. I don't have that proof from my own life to give you. But I'm not going to be a part of this. This is finished for me. I'm not going to lie or hide or tell you what I understand from this ayat is that forced prostitution on these maids is not allowed for worldly gains of this, for worldly gains, for the gains of worldly life. But prostitution of these slave girls, of your slave girls, not mine. Don't include me now. I'm an ex-former Shia, ex-Muslim. Since I've understood what this verse means, खुदा आपकी बेटियों को कि इज्जत महफूज रखे, आपकी, yours. May God keep your daughters chaste. May they wish to remain chaste. May God keep your mothers chaste, your wives chaste. Your sisters chaste. Thank you. I will continue later. Sorry for any mistakes I've made or anything. I don't mean to hurt you. It is enough. I'm not going to be a part of this oppression. This, what wicked people like obey, what, then turn it around. I'm not going to be wicked. I'm not going to follow this Quran verse. No. Through this Quran verse, what I've understood, I've left Islam and Shia Islam altogether. Thank you so much.